John always dreamed of visiting Brazil. Since he was a child, he saw pictures of the beaches, forests, and the famous city of Rio de Janeiro. He read about Carnival, the music, and the food in Brazil. One day, I will visit this amazing country, he thought. But life was always busy. Work, studies, and responsibilities. Until one day, after watching a documentary about Brazil, John made a decision. Now is the time. I'm going to Brazil. He started thinking about everything he wanted to do there. I want to see the Christ the Redeemer, walk on the beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema, and maybe even visit the Amazon rainforest, he thought. John got more and more excited. He knew this would be the trip of his dreams. The first thing John did was get his passport. He had never traveled outside his country before. I need to plan everything carefully, he thought. John also started looking for plane tickets. He found a good price and bought his ticket to Brazil. But there was still a lot to do. John began reading travel guides about Brazil. He saw pictures of Rio de Janeiro and the Amazon. The beaches look so beautiful, and the rainforest is huge. He also started learning some Portuguese words. Bom dia, por favor, obrigado, he repeated to himself. He wanted to be ready to speak with people in Brazil. John also had to choose what to pack. He knew Brazil was hot, so he packed light and comfortable clothes. I can't forget my sunscreen, he said, laughing. Finally, the day of the trip arrived. John was nervous but very excited. He got on the plane, and after many hours of flying, he landed in Brazil. When he stepped out of the airport, the first thing he noticed was the heat. The sun was shining, and the sky was very blue. John took a taxi to his hotel in Rio de Janeiro. As the taxi drove through the streets, John looked out the window in wonder. The people seemed happy, walking down the streets in colorful clothes. He saw vendors selling tropical fruits on the corners and children playing soccer on the beaches. When he arrived at the hotel, John was tired but happy. He rested for a while, but soon got up. I can't waste time. I want to start exploring, he said to himself. The next day, John was ready to explore Rio de Janeiro. He woke up early and went straight to Christ the Redeemer, one of the modern wonders of the world. He took a train up the mountain, and when he got to the top, he was speechless. The statue of Christ was much bigger than he had imagined. And the view, he could see the whole city. The beaches, the buildings, and the mountains. It was an incredible view. It's even more beautiful than in the pictures, he thought. After taking many photos, John went down the mountain and headed to the famous Copacabana beach. The sand was white and soft, and the blue sea looked inviting. John walked along the shore, watching people sunbathe and play beach volleyball. He decided to stop at a kiosk to try coconut water. Delicious, he said, smiling. It was his first time drinking something like that. But the adventure didn't stop there. John also visited Sugarloaf Mountain, another famous spot, and had another amazing view of the city. He tried local dishes, like feijoada, a traditional dish of beans and meat, and pão de queijo, which he loved. Besides the tourist spots, John also wanted to experience Brazilian culture up close. One night, he went to a samba party. He had never seen anything like it. People were playing instruments, singing, and dancing with joy. The music was so lively that soon John was clapping along with the rhythm. He also met many people. Brazilians are so friendly, he thought. Everyone seemed eager to talk to him and show him the best of Brazil. He even learned a few more Portuguese words like tudo bem and vamos dançar. People invited him to join the conversations and the dancing. The next day, John went to a local market. He bought souvenirs for his family and tried more typical foods. He tasted tapioca, brigadeiro, and juices from fruits he had never seen before, like acai and passion fruit. Everything is so delicious here, he thought. After a few days exploring Rio de Janeiro and learning more about Brazil, John began to reflect on his trip. He felt that he had learned a lot about the country and its culture. Brazil is full of life, he thought. The people are warm, the food is delicious, and the landscapes are incredible. He also realized that Brazil was much more than he had imagined. It wasn't just about beaches and music. It was about the people, the diversity, and the unique energy the country had. John knew he would return home with many stories to tell and memories he would never forget. As he packed his bags to return home, he smiled and thought, "I need to come back to Brazil one day. There is still so much to see and do." The trip had exceeded all his expectations. He knew this would be the first of many trips to Brazil.